I have two exciting things to share with you before I do this ISSA sharpening evaluation. Number one, we've redesigned the logo and we have logo jackets and t-shirts for those of you that are members. And I'm kind of proud of this. So I've got my official ISSA jacket on for doing this evaluation. Number two, this one kind of is a mystery because he sends a note, and this is someone I recently trained. So usually, I think just about everybody I've trained has always passed. But he's written, I resharpened, a little sticky note, I resharpened the convex shears 4 times and they still will not cut wet single ply. I was a little surprised, and then Misty told me a secret that neither I knew nor he knew. Let's see what that secret is, and let's see what's going on with the shears. So here's shears. I'm going to open them up. He's tied them up with little ribbons like I do. I don't know if I like my text messages coming on my watch or not. Oh, that's a text from my brother-in-law who makes our Cymek machines. Somebody earlier said, I didn't know y'all made these machines. I mean, my brother-in-law makes it. The parts are made here in Atlanta, but we sell these, so it's not just like I like to buy these and use our Cymek machines. It's our piece of equipment that we've designed. And my brother-in-law, who's in Florida, who's got a background in this kind of work, assembles them. So I'm going to start out with the beveled edge because he didn't say he had any problems with that one. And I like to start with success. So open them up, thumb out, that looks good. Thumb out. So that passes the cut test. Let's see what's going on. Oh, by the way, I checked his written test. His written test, all the answers were correct. So we know, and since he was just recently trained by me, I know he knows what he's supposed to be doing. So, let's check these. And I'm going to wait till I cut with them before I reveal the secret that Misty told me. So it's not the adjustment. Look, they look like they're adjusted about right. Maybe a little bit on the loose side, because look, see? So they cut dry, and he says he couldn't get them to cut wet. Hope it was just something he was doing with his test. So thumb out, tilting it. It's not cutting wet. Feels sharp. All the nicks are gone. Let's see if this fixes it. I'm going to wiggle it good. Okay, are you watching this? This is key. One click tighter. No. 2 clicks tighter. 3 clicks tighter. Still doesn't cut. Okay, so now it's time for me to reveal the secret. Misty did the damage to these, not me. So I wasn't around. I don't know exactly what she did. She said she did it exactly like I told her to do it. But I'm not seeing anything wrong with these. I'm really not. Ride line looks good. Little wimpy up here, so they might be a little bit out of alignment. But I think that ride line looks pretty nice. Ride line on that side looks good. I'm not seeing the ride line up the back, only seeing it on the edge. There, I don't know if you can actually see, it's actually catching into my skin, so they're nice and sharp. See if there's anything weird about the way the screw is put together. Put it back together again. I'm not seeing anything strange here. I'm baffled too. I'm baffled too. Even though Misty did the damage, I don't see anything that should have kept these from cutting. Always the first thing to do if something doesn't work is always inspect the screw. You take it apart, put it back together, even though it doesn't seem to make sense. Give it a good wiggle. That's too tight. Still too tight. Because the screw is the easiest problem to fix. Okay, that is at the upper limits of tightness where it will fall a little bit, see when I shake it? So let's see if that's improved this. And since he took it apart 4 times, put it back together, I don't think that will fix it. I've never done this before, but I think what I'll do... Oh, I've got to answer this phone. I'm back from answering the phone. And I've had time to think about this shear. And as I said, I'm going to do something I've never done before when I've done these evaluations. I'm going to re-sharpen this shear. And if I can get it cut without a lot of effort, I'm going to send him another damaged shear to sharpen again. If I can't get it to cut without doing some, bending or something crazy to it, then I'm going to pass it. So let's see what happens. Only thing I'm thinking might have happened is we've talked about more the ramped ride lines where you lean back and you put your pressure here, and he definitely didn't ramp it or we would have seen a ride up the back. But perhaps he rotated it forward. But that shouldn't, that doesn't explain that. Yeah, this is a mystery. Let's see if I can get it to cut. So first thing I'm going to do is the ride line. I'm going to take this apart. And I really need to flatten my stone. That looks pretty nasty, doesn't it? I don't want to take the time. Are y'all like that, or are you a little bit more fastidious? I probably should be. Oh, I'm going to take off my fancy ISSA jacket. Let me show it off again. Like our new logo. It's just a little bit more updated, a little bit more colorful, and I've got a jacket right now, t-shirt, and also a fanny pack, which Misty made fun of the fanny pack. Because she says nobody's going to want the fanny pack, but maybe they will. It's a good way. I wear fanny packs all the time. It's just a good way to keep your cell phone and your receipt book and your change and everything on your person. The guy that trained me had some kind of a biker's. I remember he had this biker's wallet that was sort of chained to his body. And so I don't think a fanny pack is too unreasonable. Okay, so I'm going to take this apart. Make sure my washer's out of here. And if I have to do something out of the ordinary, extraordinary with this to make them cut, this will be a learning lesson, but as I said, I'll still pass him. In a way, this is really bothersome because I think this is the first person excuse me, that I've ever trained that didn't pass. course, we're not going to say he won't pass eventually, you know, but I mean, I meant didn't pass with one try. I can't think of anybody I've trained that didn't pass with one try. Perhaps there's somebody's. Been so many of these I've evaluated, and sometimes they... Okay, I'm just going to do one swipe. And it looks like his ride line is fine. I don't see a problem with the ride line. I'm just going to do a few strokes. Now, it may be we've got a little bit of an alignment problem. And let me tilt this back and forth to the light. I want you to look at the width of the rod line. You see how it goes, and then all of a sudden there's a drop off. You see that? So it may be that blade is bent a little bit out, but if that was the case, it should cut from here to here and just not down there. So that does not solve the mystery for me. Just that many strokes, because I want to look and see what's going on. And since the rod line came up perfectly, I don't see where he's done anything wrong with this rod line. And I'm not seeing the same problem where this bends out like this blade did. Alright, let's go to the machine. Let's get a... Probably ought to go get a fresh one. We finally got our blue film in. We've been out of it forever. We're bringing it in from Korean supply chain. So I'm going to do a scratch test. My clamp is set on 35. Let's move it up to 45. See if he did it at 45. Just to see what the angle is on him. Just feeling for my thumb. Feels nice and sharp. As I said, this is a real mystery to me. You see how I'm laying it up here? I'll tilt my machine a little bit where you can see better. And I'm just going to hold this up here. See if I'm seeing anything weird here. No, it looks like he did it at 45. So I'm just going to sharpen in my usual way. No extreme measures. I've got a burr to here. I don't have a burr down at the tip. Maybe he didn't get the burr all the way down? Well, this is the one I told you that's weird. It's got a weirdness from here to here, so that may be part of the problem. This is one of those shears I kind of hope my sharpening doesn't correct them. As crazy as that sounds. I think that's a first for me too, is I hope my sharpening, when I get through, I hope they don't cut wet tissue, because, you know, every time I do one of these evaluations, I really want the people to pass. Now, I'm not going through all the steps that you probably would want to do if you were doing this evaluation, because I'm assuming these are already sharpened, and I'm just wanting to do like a little quick type sharpening if somebody was, you know, here waiting for them and they're like, oh, hurry up, because I don't want to go through any extraordinary means. I just want to do a regular sharpening. All I did was knock my burr off. Got hair on it. And my tendency is to want to grab a paper to wipe it off with, and don't do that because they'll leave grit behind. I was testing some thinning shears. Actually, I had a guy here yesterday that had a pair of shears that he said was pushing hair. And there were ones that were designed for slide cutting. So I went in and I did a really kind of a semi-convex 35-degree angle. That's why my clamp was set at 35. and left it coarse, didn't do any polishing or anything. And where's my polishing pad? Looks like I left it out, which is not good. Well, like I said, I was not going to do, I'm purposely not doing my best sharpening here anyway. I just want to do something quick. And I left it, that one edge coarse on it. In fact, he trimmed my hair and I could feel it crunching. But that's exactly what he wanted. And I said, now if anybody goes behind me sharpening, he says, what did she do? These are awful sharpening. I said, you tell him that I did a custom edge for you so that they would not push hair and would have a nice crisp, and he wanted them to be a crunch. So that's, we got my hair cut, the back of my head cut with him yesterday. I've been needing a little bit of a haircut. Okay, I'm hoping these don't pass. But they do pass. All I'm going to do is assume that Misty damaged these in some weird way that I wouldn't damage them. And I will re-damage a pair of shears and send him another one. And I'm not going to charge him for the shipping. And next time I'll just have to damage a bunch of these ahead of time so Misty won't have to do it if I'm not here. Which is really weird because I'm really here at the office probably more than she is. Once again, I spend all my time looking for something. I'm looking for oil. I know it's not in here because I took this thing with me to school day before yesterday and I had no oil with me. This is one of those things, do as I say, not as I do. You want to have everything laid out where you can find it. And Misty and I were just talking about these, and she said she sent these in an envelope. So we're going to start sending these in a box because it's possible somebody laid something really heavy on them. And if you get one of these oils, you got to prime it. You got to turn it. This is Camellia oil. We call them Suma oil. And you see how it's flowing out of here? That's really good for your cuticles. Same kind of stuff that when I go and get my nails done, that they put on my fingers. And they say, now go and wash it off your hands. So I'm going to clean this up, put a little oil on that. Man, it's nice when I get a fresh one. They're not gummy and thick. I probably ought to switch them out more often. Where's my washer? Oh, there it is. Sometimes these things need 2 washers, and I'm kind of surprised this one doesn't have 2 washers. If it doesn't cut, I'll try it with 2 washers. I know the company that makes these, typically they put 2 washers on their shears. And another thing is I have not been testing to see how these cut before we damage them, which that might be an important thing to do. Okay, let's see if it cuts dry. It cut dry before. Feel a little nick up here. I don't think I could have put that on there. So, I'm actually hoping these don't pass. Let's find out. Let me check my adjustment first. Don't want it too tight, don't want it too loose. Maybe one tighter than that. Yeah, that's where I would like to put it. Alright, pulling my thumb out. Oh, So something he did wrong then, because they're cutting fine. And I didn't do any kind of bending. And I even feel like a little nick here. Somehow I got in there that wasn't, I swear it wasn't there before. So I'm going to damage a new shear. Send it in a box and see what's going on. And I'll have him watch this video. Let me look and see if there's anything else I'm seeing before I send this back. This could look a little bit more convexy, a little bit more of a rounded shape, but that's just cosmetic. I'm a little baffled why they're not working. These cut fine. I'm looking to see if there's anything I'm seeing that's out of kilter on them. No, these were done correctly. So I don't know what's going on with this. I don't know what, but I sharpened it and they came out fine. So, but let me get a fresh shear. I'll cut with it first, damage it, and send it to him and let him try again. So here's a new shear. Brand new. Let's make sure it cuts to begin with. Cuts fine to begin with. I'm going to loosen it. Make sure he knows how to adjust it and tighten it right. I'm going to take something like this. Crunchy. And then I get my nail buffer, which is right here. And instead of the 3000 grit side, I'm going to use the really coarse 240 grit and maybe dull out some of the edges. Maybe not the whole thing, but just kind of now. Hear the crunchy sound? And let's see if that cuts wet. It doesn't cut wet. Mysteries never cease in this thing. Yeah, what I might do is watch him sharpen, because we can do that with all the amazing video chats, and I can do that and just watch, rather than him watching me, which I assume he just did. Maybe I need to watch him. Maybe I'll see something, pick up on it. But yeah, I've always in the past been able to see what someone did wrong, and this time I'm not seeing it. So let's try again. I wish I could be more help to it. It is what it is.